Morning, welcome to Morning Maths, day 25 now. Today we have a Usain Bolt theme, so a lot of the answers are going to be to do with the fastest person ever recorded over 100 metres, Usain Bolt, the Jamaican. So let's move on to today's work. You see a picture of Usain Bolt and his relay teammates, we'll talk about that later. And we'll talk about lots of these things later. So let's get going with question 1. The value of the 8 in 938. 938 units, tens, hundreds. So the 8 is worth 8 units. 8 units, which is just 8. And 8 is the amount of Olympic gold medals that Usain Bolt has won. 8 times he's won an Olympic gold medal, which is absolutely incredible. It's so hard to win one gold medal or to even be in the Olympics. He's won 8 times. Let's move on to question 2. 988 add 998. Be careful copying these numbers because they could be confusing, all these 8s and 9s. 988 and 998. That one will be easy to copy down wrong, so be careful with that. 988, 998. Okay. 8 plus 8 is 16. 8, I'm going to add the little one first. 8 plus the little one is 9. Plus 9 is 18. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. 1986, or as a date, 1986. And that is the year when Usain Bolt was born, 1986. Let's move on to question 3. 342 take away 309. 342 take away 309. 2 take away 9 we can't do. So we'll take one or borrow one from the 4. We're not giving it back, are we? So taking, really. 12 take away 9 is 3. 3 take away 0 is 3. And 3 take away 3 is 0. You don't really need that 0. 33. That's the age of Usain Bolt when I make this video. He was born in 1986. So in 2020, when I'm making this video, he will be 34 this year. But he's not had his birthday yet when I'm making this video. So he's still 33. He is retired now, which means he's not an athlete anymore, because once you get into your 30s, it's difficult to keep going. Some athletes can keep going well into their 30s, but Usain Bolt has retired now. Let's go on to question 4. 8 times 6. This is like having 8, but having it 6 times. 8 times 6. So I'll sing my 8s up to 6 fingers. 8 and 16, 24 and 32, 40, 48. And I get 48. See if I can squeeze this in. Should really write 1 digit in each square, but I had no space. So 8 times 6 is 48. I don't think that one's a Usain Bolt fact. Not every single question is. Most of them are. Number 5 is 14 divided by 2. I think I've got 14 little Jamaican flags down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 shared between 2. 14 divided by 2. So put these flags into 2 groups. I'll see how many is in each group. Share them out fairly. They both got 3. They both got 4. Put that one at the top. They both got 5, but there's still some more to share. They both got 6. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They both have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can write 14 divided by 2. 14 shared between 2 is 7. If you had 14 Jamaican flags, you shared them out between 2 people, they would get 7 flags each. Usain Bolt is from Jamaica, of course. That's why the flag is on. That's his friend Johan Blake, his relay partner. You see, that's the Jamaican flag on Usain Bolt's vest. Let's move on to question 6, the year 4 level stuff. If the relay runners could just move down a bit for those fast people. Let's pop the flags back on here, and we'll be on question 6, year 4 level, which is the value of the 1 in 4,186. 4,186. The value of the 1. Units, tens, hundreds. The value of the 1 is 100, isn't it? It's in the hundreds column and there's just the digit 1. So it's 100. In brackets 100. And Usain Bolt is famous for running the 100 meters. The 100 meters. And if you are the champion of the whole world at 100 meters, you're seen as the fastest man, or if it's the women's event, the fastest woman in the world. Let's move on to question 7. Number 7, 1,863 plus 146. Line it up down the right. Line it up carefully. 3 plus 6 is 9. 6 plus 4 is 10. 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10. And a 2. 2009. That's the year 2009. And 2009 is the year that Usain Bolt set his world record in the 100 metres. So not only did he beat everyone else in a race, he ran the fastest time that there's ever been. He did that in 2009. Let's go on to question 8. We're in blue now. Question 8. 456 minus 256. I wonder if you can predict the answer before I even start. You might be able to see it and you might be able to guess what it says about Usain Bolt. Anyway, 6 take away 6 is 0. 5 take away 5 is 0. 4 take away 2 is 2. And it's 200. Because Usain Bolt is also famous for running the 200 metres, which is another sprinting event, 200 metres. He's won gold medals in the Olympics in the 100 metres and the 200 metres. Time for us to move on to question 9. 287 times 7. 287 times 7. 7 times 7, that's 49. 7 times 8 is 56. Plus 4 is 60. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 6 is 20. It's 2009 again. Because 2009 is also the year when Usain Bolt set the world record in the 200 metres. So 2009 was his very best year. That's the year he set his world records. He never got to be a better athlete than he was in that particular year, 2009. And we're on question 10. 545 divided by 5. 545 shared between 5. So how many 5s fit into 5? 1. How many 5s fit into 4? 0 carried a 4. How many 5s fit into 45? I'll sing my 5s until I get to 45. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That is 9. 109. That particular answer is not about Usain Bolt. And it's time for us to move on to the year 5 level work. Let's put this picture right down low. We can put it here. And we move on to question 11. The value of the 5 in 9.58. Now just one or two of you might know what is important about 9.58. But anyway, what is the value of the 5? So line up the point. Units go here. These are tenths. And that's what we want, isn't it? Tenths. The next column would be hundredths. We don't really need it for this question because they're asking us the value of the 5. The value of the 5, and it's 5 tenths. So 5 tenths, we could write in words, 5 tenths, and in decimals that is 0.5. 0.5. 5 tenths, 0.5. And there is another way of writing this as well, of course, the fraction 5 tenths. The fraction 5 tenths is also the same. So all these are the same way of writing 5 tenths or the decimal 0.5. Let's move on to question 12. 9.58 is going to come up again, I think. Question 12. 4.08 plus 5.5. 4.08 and 5.5. I actually have put the biggest number on the bottom, haven't I? It doesn't matter in plus. You can put the biggest number on the top or the bottom in plus. 4 and a bit is not as big as 5 and a bit. So actually, no, normally I like to put the biggest number on the top, but I didn't this time. Let's place a 0 here. If you're wondering why, 4.08 is not as big as 5.50, is it? To check that, you could pretend it was 5.50. It's not really 5.50, but 5 and a bit anyway is bigger than 4 and a bit. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 5 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. It's 9.58 again. So 9.58 is Usain Bolt's world record for the 100 metres. 100 metres is most of our field, and he can do that in less than 10 seconds. 9.58 seconds, world record. Fastest time ever. Even though Usain Bolt's retired, no one can do that time now. 9.58. Might take a few years for anyone to beat that, I think. Now we're on number 13. 30 decreased by 10.81. What's the biggest number, 30 or 10 and a bit? It is 30. 30 has no decimal point, so I'm going to place one at the end. Place 2 zeros. 30.00 take away 10.81. This is going to produce another time for Usain Bolt. Lots of borrowing or taking here. 0 take away 1. 0 take away 1 we can't do. You have to borrow right across from the 3. Goes down to a 2. 1 can come over here. 10 can go down to a 9. 1 here. 10 can go down to a 9. 1 here. So 10 take away 1 is 9. 9 take away 8 is 1. 9 take away 0 is 9. 2 take away 1 is 1. 19.19. That is Usain Bolt's world record for the 200 metres. He's still got that world record as well. That also might take some time to beat. 19.19 is how you say it. Now on question 14. 4 lots of 4,563. This is multiplication. Lots of is multiplication. I'm going to put the biggest number at the top in the standard method for multiplication. So 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. 18,252. That's not about Usain Bolt, that one. That was just the answer to our multiplication. And we're on question 15. Question 15 is 2,645 shared between 5 or divided by 5. How many 5s in 2? 0. 5's too big to get into 2. Carried a 2. How many 5s in 26? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I counted up to 25 and my finger said 5, but this is 26, not 25, so there's 1 left. How many 5s in 14? 5, 10, that's 2. Anything up to 10, that's 14, so 4 left. How many 5s in 45? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's 9. 529. That's not about Bolt either. That's our answer, 529. On we go to question 16. We keep coming back to this 9.58. Value of the 8 in 9.58. What's the value of the 8? Your 5 did the value of the 5, but what's the value of the 8? Units is before the point, tenths is after the point, and 100ths is there. So the 8 is actually in the hundredths column. 8 of them, 800ths. 800ths. In athletics, they talk about hundredths a lot because you have to time people very accurately in athletics. As a decimal, it is 0.08. That's the digit we're interested in, the 8. 0.08. That's a very small time. 800ths of a second. It's like you split a second into 100 equal parts and you've only got 8 of those parts. It's a very small amount of time. Far quicker than clicking your fingers. Even quicker than that. It's so quick. 800ths. Sometimes races in athletics are won by just 1/100th of a second. So that was question 16, 0.08 or 800ths. And we're moving on to question 17. This is a plus. 41.92, 41 and a bit, 41.92 plus 23.8, 23.8. Let's place a 0 here. 2 plus 2, you don't have to place this 0 in this case. 2 plus 0 is 2, or if it was empty it would be 2 plus nothing, it would still be 2. 9 plus 8 is 17. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 2 is 6. 65.72. That's not about Usain Bolt, that one. 65.72. And on to question 18. A big takeaway question. Lots of borrowing or taking. 200,000 minus 37,654. 200,000 minus 37,654. Always be careful to copy the digits correctly in a question like this. And when you have a number like 200,000, make sure you've got the right number of zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So often I see people copying down the wrong number of zeros. Anyway, well, 0 take away 4 we can't do. We have to go all the way to the end to get some help. We can take 1 from the 2, it goes down to a 1. 1 goes here. And then we have to take or borrow all the way along. I know children are good at this. I see them do this well all the time. Just remember on the last bit, it's 10. Don't cross it out and make it a 9. It stays as 10 on the last bit. 10 take away 4, 6. 9 take away 5. That's 4. 9 take away 6, 3. 9 take away 7, 2. 9 take away 3, 6. And that's a tiny little 1, isn't it? But it's not really tiny. It's worth 100,000. That's very, very important. And the answer is 162,346. Commas go 3 from the end. Not about Usain Bolt, that one. But the last two are. So, question 19. Do you remember this picture? Well, if you're year 6 and you started later, you might not. This is Usain Bolt and his world record Jamaican relay team. They all run 100 metres and there's 4 of them and they pass the baton. You can see these 2 British athletes passing this red baton. And I know people in St Helens, some of you in the athletics team and squad and club know how to pass batons. And they pass the baton round and they all do 100 metres. It adds up to 400 metres. They have the world record in that, this Jamaican team. But I wonder what the world record would be. So maybe it would be Usain Bolt's time for 100 metres, 9.58. Maybe it would be that times by 4. Do you think it would be that times by 4? Or do you think this might not work? Do you think everyone can run as fast as Usain Bolt? Anyway, let's see what it would be if everyone ran 9.58. Let's see what the time would be. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. 4 times 9, 9, 18, 27, 34. 9, 18, 27, 36. Plus 2 is 38. 38.32. That might be the world record. It might, it's not, but it might be. If you think about 9.58 times 4, we've got 38.32. I'm actually going to note it down. 38.32. That's not the world record. Do you think the world record is going to be faster than that or slower than that? So what we did is we times Usain Bolt, we multiplied Usain Bolt's fastest ever time by 4, we got 38.32. So do you think this relay team could run that, or faster or slower? We're going to find out what time they did run in question 20. This is going to produce the world record time for the 4 times 100 metres, or the 4 by 100 metres. 147.36 divided by 4. Let's divide it and see what we get. 4 into 1 is 0, carried a 1. 4 into 14, 4, 8, 12 is 3, remainder 2. 4 into 27, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 6, remainder 3. 4 into 33, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 28, 32. 8 makes 32, remainder 1. And 4 times 4 is 16. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 36.84. So I wonder what you thought, because that is the world record for 4 people running 100 metres. And that is faster than than Usain Bolt doing it 4 times. So how does that make any sense at all? Do you have an answer to that? If the fastest man in the world times 4 is 38 and a bit seconds, how can 4 different people run 36 and a bit seconds? How can they get this world record and be faster? Do you know the answer? The answer is, when 4 people run 100 meters, because they pass the baton like this, when they pass it, they don't actually have to stop. So the person who's receiving the baton can start running. When they get the baton, they're already running. So they don't have to start from a stopped position and get their speed up. They can actually get their speed up and take the baton on the run. That's why 4 people can do the 4 times 100 faster than Usain Bolt could run 100 meters 4 times, which might be surprising, but it's because the baton speed is what counts, and the baton goes very fast. The baton doesn't have to stop. Whereas when Usain Bolt has to start a race on his own, he's still, completely still at the start and has to speed up. But the baton just keeps going really fast. There's some year 6s in our school who can change the baton really, really fast. Anyway, that's the last answer, 36.84. Here's all the answers. I think I remembered to talk about every single Usain Bolt fact as I went along. So you've heard all the facts, but pause the video here if you need the answers. Hopefully you learned something about Usain Bolt, and hopefully you increased your speed and accuracy in maths. And I'll see you next time. Keep practicing.